A couple of months prior to my impending wedding, I was unemployed. So I took a job as a gas station attendant for a Kmart gasoline station, and many of you don't think they ever had those, but they did. And within 6 months I was the manager, and 6 months after that I was a district manager, and 18 months after that I was director of operations for Kmart's gasoline division, working out of Troy, Michigan. Held that job for quite a while, and then they decided to get out of the gasoline industry, and I was charged with selling Kmart gasoline division, and I ended up selling them to Thornton Oil Corporation out of Louisville, Kentucky. In the process of that sale, they invited me to come on board as region manager and director of operations, which I did. It was a great job, six-figure salary over 23 years ago. Had season tickets to any of the sporting events in the area, and all of them. Went to the Super Bowl in California, went to the World Series. It was really a great place to work. I enjoyed it very much. I remember one particular year that we went to the NCAA tournament when Louisville won their national championship, and I had picked up the coach's son from the airport, so I got tickets 3 rows from the floor, mid-court, with the coach's family. And Mr. Thornton, the owner of Thornton Oil, sent somebody over to ask me if he didn't think I should take his seat up in nosebleed heaven and him come down and sit where I was, and I said, over my dead body, and I stayed right there. Somebody told me I would probably get fired, and I told them I really didn't care. I mean, I had the best seats in the house, and I was going to keep them. So it didn't cost me my job, because it was a very great place to work, and if you did your job, you were well paid. And I got to the place where I actually considered suicide. Had a wonderful wife, great family, no divorce issues, but it was just empty. And I'd go to work and make lots of money, and it was empty. And so my wife convinced me to go back to church, and I did, and I rededicated my life to Christ and felt that Christ was saying to me, I have called you into the ministry, are you going to do it? And the district superintendent called me up and asked me if I wanted to pastor a small country church. And I said, well, yeah, I would be interested. And he told me that it was Palmyra, so I drove out and looked at it, and I thought, there's no way I could do this. I mean, it was in the sticks, little bitty church, and my territory for Thornton Oil was Chicago, Detroit, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Dallas, Fort Worth. We're talking about major cities. And here I was going to a little town of 1,100 people. My wife rode out on her lunch hour to look at it, and she felt exactly like I did. But we prayed about it, and that's where God sent us. That first night, my wife said, we're out of milk, the kids are going to need milk in the morning, and so I went out, and everything in town was closed. The grocery store was closed, there were 2 gas stations, they were closed, the restaurants were all closed. It was about 9 o'clock at night. So I had to drive to Corden, Indiana, which was 13 miles away, just to get milk. And so from that time on, we called it Pal Misery, and we said that they rolled up the sidewalks at 9 o'clock at night. And on our very first Sunday there were 8 people in Sunday school, and 4 of them had my last name, meaning it was Leanne and myself and our 2 children. And there were 33 people in church that Sunday. I was just nearly defeated. I thought, how in the world can you have church like this? But over the period of time that we were there, we grew the church to over 200. Sunday school was running close to 100. It was about 85 or 90. Built a new building. God really blessed the ministry there. And I think it was an important part of my educational process as a pastor. The people grew spiritually, the church grew numerically, and grew as a physical plant. It was just every single day was exciting. And then I got moved to Sellersburg, which was a bigger church in the city. And I went from blue-collar people to white-collar people. And I wasn't ready for that ministerial transition. And they were exactly pleased with where they are. They didn't want to make any changes. They didn't want to grow. They just wanted a chaplain. Well, I'm not a chaplain. And it made my ministry life miserable. And in the process of being there, I actually suffered a stroke. I probably spent 4 or 5 weeks in the hospital. It was just tearing me up. I couldn't deal with it. And I had many battles with God over the fact that these people didn't desire to grow spiritually. And finally, God got me to the place where I said to him, if you want me to stay here at Sellersburg until I retire, I'll do it. You've just got to help me. You've got to give me a way to excite myself and stimulate my spiritual growth. And at that time, I felt that he opened the door for me to pursue a doctorate. And I did. And that created much excitement in my life, and it allowed me to try new things at the church, which we did. And then I got a call the day after Christmas last year asking me if I would like to come and pastor Old Bethel United Methodist Church here in Indianapolis. And that had been my dream for 5 years, to pastor this particular church. I had prayed for it, I had asked for it, I had talked to the bishop about it, and it just seemed that I hadn't paid enough dues, that I hadn't been in the system long enough, and that it wasn't going to happen. In fact, Doug, if you remember, there was a period in time where both of us were being considered for this church, and our names were being bannered about and so forth. And because of our closeness, I just made up my mind that you were going to come here and I was going to stay in Sellersburg. And I had to deal with that because this was where I wanted to come. And so we accepted this appointment, and every day that I've been here, I've felt like this was really what I was being prepared for in Palmyra. It's what I was being prepared for at Sellersburg. And if you even go back to Thornton Oil, the business aspect was preparing me for a much larger church with a large staff and how to operate in that system. Yeah, I feel like this is a coming home experience. The church has just totally embraced Leanne and myself and our son Chad, who lives with us. They are very encouraging. Leanne and I talked the other night. We have been to people's houses for dinner and out to eat with people more in the 11 months that we've been here than in all of our years in ministry put together at the other churches. So it's just an exciting place to be.